Give it a couple moments for people to join in. I'm gonna start making an iced chai latte, an iced chai latte while I wait for you guys, and then we'll jump into the topic. Hey Cody, hope you're doing well. It's been a long time. Let some more people join in while I grab some things real quick. Okay. I'm using this to make my chai. It's decaf because I'm breastfeeding. And I'm also using, because you mix it with milk, but I use oat milk because oats help with breast milk production. So I've been eating oatmeal. I'm eating honey bunches of oats. I've been drinking oat milk. And I've also been using these bars, in case anybody's curious, called Booby Bars. It tastes kind of like a breakfast bar, but it helps with breast milk production also. Hi, so we got people in here now, so let's chat about it while I make my drink. I wanted to talk about why the spiritually gifted go through tough times, why the spiritually gifted go through obstacles, and it's a conversation, so feel free to comment below when you see this on YouTube later, because this is where it will end up. Feel free to make comments in the comment sections also. I want to hear your thoughts, your experiences, things like that. My daughter is taking a nap, so we'll see how long it goes before she starts to get fussy. Okay, so as spiritual people, a lot of people say as healers, but to some degree, we are all healers. We're all healing something throughout life, is my humble opinion if you ask me, because nobody's perfect. Because if we are not learning lessons, if we are not growing, if we are not, if we know it all, then we wouldn't really be here in this human form. We would be within source, So we're all healing something. It's just maybe different some things at different points in time, or to different levels, to different degrees. But as spiritual people, as spiritually gifted people in particular, especially if you work in the spiritual realm and you help others with their spiritual evolution, growth process, spiritual healing, readings, whatever it might be, you're going to go through ups and downs too. And one of the reasons is definitely because we can better be of assistance to those going through tough times and obstacles if we ourselves have healed ourselves from those times, from those experiences, from those challenges. Because it helps us to relate more to people. It helps us to relate to an experience more when we've been through something of a similar nature. And as the spiritually gifted, ideally, you are continuing to evolve from those challenges, to learn, to overcome, to persevere over those obstacles, so that you can help yourself first and foremost, as well as help others through the lessons learned. But also just keeping in mind that because you do evolve, because you do overcome a tough time, a tough experience, a tough season, or even a tough life, and you get to a better place, there's still going to be other times where you are faced with lessons all over again. It could be a brand new lesson because you are elevating to a new and different level, or it could be a similar lesson from before. But then the challenge is, are you handling it differently? Did you learn the lessons from before so that maybe you don't stay in it quite as long, or it's not as bad as before because you kind of know how to deal with it? You see what I'm saying? So as spiritually gifted people, we're always going to be going through something. It just may not be horrible. And we're going to have ups and downs, and that doesn't mean that you cannot live a life that you enjoy, that is wonderful, that is harmonious. That doesn't mean that you can't have relationships and partnerships and friendships that are amazing and beautiful and make you your best self. You 100% can. But what I'm saying is there's always going to be different things in life that you're going to have to experience so that you have that knowledge, because your purpose is to also teach and to live by example. So, hi. So, on one hand, as people coming in to learn from you, for example, you have to have balance, because ideally, people, myself, want to learn from those that have overcome challenges. You don't want to learn from somebody who's in the exact same place that you have been in and is still there, because then it's kind of like the blind leading the blind. But you also have to be cautious of people that feel like they know it all and that they are so evolved that they are like some sort of guru status. I don't, particularly care to follow people that claim to be gurus. I don't trust necessarily people that see themselves as gurus, because of the fact that we're all learning here on this earth school. But you want a balance of someone who understands that we are here in a human experience and that things happen and that in life is ups and downs. But you want somebody who practices what they preach. You want somebody who is walking the walk that they claim to be walking. And that doesn't mean that there's ups and downs throughout the journey, but you want somebody who keeps elevating, right? To be an example through just living their life. You want their life to be the example, right? But you also have to have the balance of understanding that they, nor you or anybody, is perfect, and none of us have all of the answers. Otherwise, we would not be here. We would be an ancestor on the other side in people's ears. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully that makes sense. And so as spiritually gifted, don't beat yourself up if you find yourself going through another tough time. Ideally it would only be for a moment and not a season. But sometimes seasons do happen, and just know that ultimately, if you continue to practice what you preach spiritually, you can overcome, you can evolve, and you will learn from it. And each time it won't be as bad as the last time, if it's something to what you've been experiencing in the past before, if it's some sort of cycle or karmic lesson, because eventually you want to get to the place where you don't have to learn the lesson anymore, right? And if it's a brand new challenge, then, pat yourself on the back, because that means you are in a different chapter in life. And of course, you're going to keep going higher, higher, and higher, ascending. And these experiences are what are helping you to both help yourself and to help others when these ups and downs happen, because that's life. And just because you're going through kind of an off time, kind of like when a full moon is present and the energy just feels off and crazy, and these subconscious things that need healing are coming up and coming out to the surface, even if you're going through a moment like that, it doesn't mean that you're not a happy person living a beautiful life. It just means that you are just having another human experience to learn another lesson. But also sometimes I do believe it is a karmic test to see, do you really believe in what you speak? You know what I mean? And how are you going to apply the lessons that you've been learning over time that got you to a higher level? When I say higher level, meaning like it's like a video game. When you beat one boss and then you went to the next level, well, now you got to beat another evil boss. But you keep going and going and going until you win. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that. Or graduating from another grade in this earth school to the next chapter or the next level. So that's why we as spiritually gifted people go through obstacles and tough times and ups and downs, because what knowledge do we have to give if we haven't had experience here on this earth school in this human experience? That's how we're able to spread knowledge and help people, because we've been through a lot. And some people you can learn through books and whatnot, but one of the greatest lessons, the best teachers, is experience. If you ask me, that's my opinion. And it's kind of like how some therapists they can read about a lot of things in books and in school, which is beautiful and great, because I am a big advocate for people going to therapy. But at the same time, sometimes the spiritually gifted, especially if you're an empath or something like that, and you can feel or tap into an energy, you still have knowledge to give on something, because you've either experienced it yourself, or you're actually going through that process with the person who you are working with. So sometimes we're experts on things, if for lack of better words, because is anybody really an expert in anything if we're all learning? But anyway, sometimes we know a lot about things because of the fact that we've actually lived it ourselves. So hopefully this makes sense. Kind of a ramble, but thought I would talk to you guys a little bit today, because that's been on my mind, especially as someone who is a new mother. And postpartum is a thing. I'm not saying I went full-blown postpartum depression, but postpartum is a thing. And I will just say that it's helped me. Now that I'm in a better headspace, I see the beauty of it all. And I'm gonna get emotional, but oh my goodness, the beauty of motherhood, the beauty of bringing a child into this world, the ups and downs of what it means to really be there for another human being that you created. And selfishness has to be pushed aside. You know what I mean? Still take care of yourself. You can't pour into anybody else's cup until you pour into your own. But just the shock to life of the major transition that being a parent is, you learn a lot about yourself. It's gonna test you, it's gonna challenge you, but it's beautiful and worth it, and it helps you grow and become wiser and stronger. So yeah, pat yourself on the back if you're a new parent. You got this. You're doing a great job if nobody else has told you that today. All right, so that's all I had to say. Thank you for joining in. If you missed it from the beginning, I will save this, and it will be up on my Instagram for a little while, and then after that I'll put it up on my YouTube. And once it's on YouTube, feel free to join in the comments and share in the discussion. I love chatting with you guys. It also helps with getting engagement, interactions. Also, remember to like the video once it's up, and subscribe to my YouTube channel once it's up on there. And if you choose to, you could always tip by buying me a coffee if you want to. But totally optional. It's just for the energy exchange if you like. Thank you, Jermaine. Glad you love the kitchen. All right, you guys, enjoy your day.